One of the most profound things I've learned in my life is that it's actually not about my hair at all. I've spent a lifetime trying to cover up who I am. And as much as I love a good external transformation, and I do, I much more love a heart transformation. Join me as I share how I work to heal my heart, find happiness, and embrace our hair. Hey guys, welcome back to It's Not About Your Hair. We talk all things hair, heart, and happiness. Today, I said we were going to hop back into the journey of not just entrepreneurship, but believing in yourself and starting when you don't know how. I have lots of episodes in the past two seasons where we kind of unpack the journey of self-doubt and moving through things that you don't know. And I specifically wanted to just talk about the curly hair tracker, the online curl course, and dreaming about things and seeing things that you want to do that you don't know how to do. There's a few episodes, as I referred to before, where we talked about starting where you're at. The episodes with my Sophie, where she shares her journey. And to date, I just kind of wanted to share from a lens of being able to look backwards, what that process looked like. I was able to speak at this event by the time you watch this, it will have been a couple weeks ago. And one of the questions that was asked was like, how do we know where to start? And my answer to that is start with what's setting your soul on fire. Start with the very next thing. Sometimes we want to have so many things out in front of us. And maybe you're not called to be an entrepreneur. Actually, I'm learning that most people aren't. But there's still something that you want to do that perhaps you're afraid of or not sure where to start. Start there. Start with, so often this idea of the comparison thing again, you guys were looking at someone else and we're like, I don't know how to do that. And I don't even like to do that. And so we start thinking poorly about ourselves. For instance, I'll use my social media as an example. A lot of hairdressers are like, I don't like to be on social media. And then they use that as the reason that they're not busy. And there's a million things you can do besides be on social media, or you can be on social media and you don't have to be on there like me. I like to talk clearly. And so for me, it's very easy for me to share. And my purpose behind it is that I want my clients to see themselves as beautiful. I want curly girls at home to see that curls don't have to be complicated. I want for myself to be accountable to creating spaces where clients feel safe and seen and heard. And so when I'm posting on my social media, all of those things, that's the purpose behind which I'm doing these things. The same with creating something that you don't know how to create. A lot of times the fear of the unknown keeps us stuck in the analysis paralysis, overthinking and never doing. But if there's something that you really feel called to, if you just start taking steps and asking for help and being willing to maybe pay for help if you're in a position to do that and it's something that you want. The curly hair tracker, I think it's really fun, you guys, because I have been a curly hair specialist. That came birthed out of my own desire to understand my hair and slowly evolved to Voss the Curl Boss. I didn't wake up as Voss the Curl Boss. In fact, I would say that I woke up as Voss the curly, frizzy, misunderstood, messy boss. And slowly, as I began to authentically know myself and understand my hair, my weakness became my superpower, as we've talked about. And so then I started the podcast, and the podcast was really an extension of what I felt like I did behind my chair. So behind my chair, I love a good galding before and after as much as the next guy. But as I've said a million times, the thing that I love more than that is watching my clients finally see that their hair is really great. Watching my curly clients finally understand their hair. Watching some of you from afar who I will never get to meet in person, but maybe catch something during one of those consultation videos and it clicks. And you begin, and I get messages from you that I'm 61 and finally liking my hair for the first time. I'm 72 and just got on my third day. I've was able to share your techniques with my 15-year-old daughter. Like, these are the things that help me to understand the why behind my social media, or the why behind taking the risk, because I believe fully in why I'm doing it or what it's called to. So the podcast came out of, I wanted more of the story. I loved sharing the consultation videos online, but it wasn't enough. I think it's deeper. So the consultation is so cool because it leads to the deeper issue. It helps us identify, is it our hair or our hands? Is it something going on with my hair? Is it that I have an unrealistic expectation of my hair? Or is it that I don't understand my hair? Is it a different product that I need? It's the same with the heart and the happiness. If we follow that trail, why am I unhappy? What is keeping me stuck? Why do I not like myself? And so the hair, heart, and happiness tracker was the next step that I saw from the two areas that I already loved. I was loving my time behind the chair, but I felt like there was still a lot of confusion. Like, my clients were listening to me. You guys who, like I said, have never met me were listening, but you're like, I don't know what a filler or a sealer is. I don't know when I'm supposed to detox my hair. I'm refreshing, but I don't know why I'm refreshing or what I'm refreshing with. And I thought, man, my girlfriends need a tracker. Just like that came out of the idea of, anytime I've been on a weight loss journey, if you track what you're eating, you begin to see the patterns and what you're doing. And I really wanted to have a resource that you could write down and see what day of the week was it that you were on your hair, and what products did you use, so that you could begin to understand your hair. Because so many people are wanting to find that perfect curly hair specialist. And there's a lot of really good curly hair specialists out there, but you only get to see them maybe 3 or 4 times a year at best. You're on your own, buddy. So beginning to have self-awareness is really key. And then the heart and happiness portions of the tracker, those were the things, because I think it's so much deeper than our hair. And when we're ready for the challenge of self-discovery, we can begin to track our emotions and then maybe start clicking together the pieces. Was it just my hair that was having a bad hair day? Was it the fact that I didn't sleep in my bonnet? Did I wear my hair in a ponytail too much? Furthermore, was I having a bad emotional day, which made me frustrated with my hair? And was I having negative self-talk? So when we were tracking all of these things across the board, these were things I really began to notice in my own personal life. Like, a lot of times my hair was fine, but I was feeling irritated with my life, and therefore I was taking it out on my hair. Or lots of times when I was like an emotional, like, I need to change with my hair, it was tied to, I really just needed to change something about my life, or take time to encourage myself or love myself or take a minute for myself. And so the tracker, I was like, I really need to make this thing. I've talked to you guys about it before, but I have zero clue how to use the internet. Yes, I have a Canva account. For those of you who are business people, you probably have a Canva account. But those of you who don't, you might just be good at graphics if you're young. I don't know how to do it. I also really don't know grammar that well. I'll be honest, it's a trouble. And I had these really beautiful pictures in my head of what I wanted it to look like. And then I let that stop me. Well, I can't get this out because I don't know. And then I thought, what do I know? I know that my daughter's best friend is a graphic designer. And I know that at least 15 of my clients would benefit and buy this journal. And so I'm willing to invest some money to make it. And even if it doesn't work, I have enough hope that it will. And so I pursued having it made, and then it worked. And then I didn't know how to sell it. I shared that with you guys. So now I have this PDF, but I don't know where to sell it or how to sell it. So I hired it's not an online assistant, but I don't know what she is, an online awesomeness. And she helped me set up a few systems to help sell this tracker. And today I just looked, you guys, I've sold 459, or is it 459? Maybe it's 659. Anyways, I did just look, but I have a horrible memory. trackers. And I thought, well, 15 people buy it would be worth it. And that was only a few months ago, you guys. And what I want you to see here is that I didn't know all of the steps before I started. I knew that I had an idea for something that would help somebody because I also could have used the help. And I started taking the steps forward, and then the path got lit up to me on how to do it. And since then, because I took that one brave step and I saw it working, I thus created two different online courses and a free guide that kind of went with the tracker that came afterwards. Like just continuing to listen as you're on the path of what's the next thing that's showing up? Like, what is something else that might help fit this need? So that's a little bit of like the entrepreneur side of dreaming and thinking, but that can be any part of your life that I think we get stuck in. Uh, I, you can take this over. I'm going to use my husband as an example. I wanted to share this story. Someday I'm going to get him on the podcast. If you know me personally and you know Big Daddy, Mr. Adam Voss, you absolutely know that he is just literally like the best people. He's just so good. He's so good. I want to talk about his journey a little bit in a way that still honors him as my husband and keeps his story his. But Adam and I have been together since 8th grade. And I think it's really important that I share both sides of this story because I understand that not everyone's called to be an entrepreneur and not everybody wants to have a job that they make that money, it's I want to say money shouldn't even be the driver. So my husband, Adam, is God's greatest gift to me, I think, honestly. And for many years, I didn't know that. I longed for uh, my my own father to be loving and attentive and wanting me, and I didn't have that. And sometimes I wonder, perhaps even if I don't want to say jealous, but I would watch how Adam was with our girls, and I would be so overwhelmed, like how a dad could be so good. And then one day I realized that perhaps that was my greatest gift is that I didn't grow up with the dad like that, but I got to witness one in my home every day. And Adam, since we've been together on and off since 8th grade, I've watched him journey through, we've grown up together, many different jobs and opportunities. And at the core of who he is a servant. He loves to serve. He loves to be needed. He loves to create peace in places that he's at. And he does a really great job at that. And uh, this year, we've had a lot of changes in our family. And I'm going to talk about a lot of those, but many of you have been following along. But this year, Adam recently sold his barber shop and was looking for what was the next thing. And I was quick to want to steer him to entrepreneurship because of that mind that I have that I just shared about. I feel like, my gosh, there's an endless amount of possibilities that we could do with the minds that we've been given. But Adam finally landed on that the thing that would bring him the most joy was not owning a business. It was not the pressure of feeling like everything landed on him, where I feel the opposite about that. I feel like having the no boundaries to the limitless possibilities was what I loved. And what he wanted was a job that he knew what his job was. And that really bringing that spirit that he has of service and peace. And he took a job at an alternative at a high school as a parapro, which basically means that he is there to meet the needs of what that classroom needs, maybe personally what that teacher needs, or individually what that student needs. In an alternative ed situation, you have lots of different needs, especially in a high school setting, from day to day. And the job, as you all know, it's interesting that the teaching community doesn't make that much money. And then you add a parapro position. These are very low paying jobs that people are taking and raising a family on. It's quite amazing. But it was finally the point in our lives where we had And all of us have to come to the conclusion of our own journey. Some people stay in jobs they hate that make great money. Some people stay in jobs that they hate that isn't great money, but it's familiar and comfort. Comfort is the thing that they seek. Some people never ever switch jobs because they love their job, but it's just because it's really, really easy for them. And there's a million reasons we stay at jobs. Some people are lucky and find their dream job right off the bat, and they have this attitude of gratitude the whole time that they're aware they're supposed to be. That's a really great gift if you're there. Um, and I will tell you, after 25 years of marriage and continuing to try and make my husband like me. And here's the crazy part, I didn't know I was doing that, but I take everything as a god darn project. I finally said, what is it that would make you happy? Because in my mind, just as I try to share with you guys, I'm thinking that if everybody just was an entrepreneur or had this passion, that would fulfill them. And since day one of taking this job, I have never seen him so happy. To know that he is operating in his absolute gifting and he feels completely fulfilled. And it's as if all the other stressors have went away. Now, I know not everyone has that opportunity because not everybody can take a pay cut like that. We're lucky that we have other businesses that help and that we have worked hard in other areas that we don't have a lot of debt. So you can take a step back like that. But I wanted to share both sides of this, like being an entrepreneur and being able to sell things and do things and create things. That is possible for anyone. I'm an example of that. It's also possible that anyone can own a business and maybe they shouldn't. Like my husband, he owned a business for many years and he was great barber. He was a great barber, but you know the parts he loved? The serving others and being of need. He didn't love the moving parts. And so even though you can, should you? And that's both areas. Like maybe you're a teacher and you shouldn't be a teacher. You took the job and went to school and maybe you're crusty and mean and you don't love it. Get out. Stop being afraid. Don't stay somewhere because it has a 401k. Be willing to step away because then the essence of who you are and the trueness of who you are can come through. And don't be afraid of the fact that you don't know where the path ends. This is a lie. We think as we get older, we have to be more clear on the path. I don't think that's true. I think we can be more free. I still don't know where my path lands in the next 5 or 10 years. I don't know. I don't know where my husband's path lies in the next 5 or 10 years. What I have landed on and what I hope that you'll land on, and I was just talking about this actually, which is really fun, is that I finally am not afraid that we won't land on our feet, whatever that looks like. So for me, it looks like living below my means so that I don't have so much things that I have to work until I feel like I'm drowning. It also means that I believe I'm employable, that I'll always be able to find a job. I'm a hard worker, whether that's me doing something or being able to get a job. And I think that is a fear I hear behind my chair a lot, is people stuck in jobs they hate, but they're afraid that they won't find something else. There's so many things you can do, friends. If you feel stuck, if you feel frustrated, I would encourage you to follow that path into why you're feeling that resistance. What is it? And how can you work yourself into purpose, maybe passion? And listen to me when I say it might not look like, this is the really cool part. I think for my husband, because we're so different, and maybe you're so different than your best friend or your husband or your wife, or and you keep trying to fit yourself into that square peg, but you're not a square. Strong personalities like mine take up space, and I have to remember that and sit down sometimes and take a breath and shut up, because I think I can make people who maybe they don't have as strong of that sort of personality. It's not wrong that they don't. They are a helper. My husband is a helper. And finally, he's able to feel like he is doing what he's meant to do. And so maybe it's taking a step back and discovering more about yourself and being willing to give some stuff up. Maybe your dream was, if I had this much money, I'd be happy, but you kind of are making more money and you're not happy. So maybe that's not it. And if you can't take less of money right now because you're in a pickle, then how many months do you have to work your tail off to get out of that pickle? Like, what are the things you can do? I want us to get past what we can't do. I want us to sit inside. What are the possibilities? Because they're endless. Oh, I sure have missed the podcast. I've missed these. Encourage me. I hope that this encouraged you. You're not too far anywhere. Not too far up the ladder that you can't climb down. You're not too far down the ladder you can't climb up. Let's go. Let's make the changes we need to. And if you're exactly where you're supposed to be today, please just count your blessings. Have some gratitude for that. And as always, I hope you know that if you're not where you want to be, tomorrow's a new day, that you're worthy of love. I hope you loved this. I hope you'll share it. I hope you'll subscribe. My begging, Lord have mercy. Have a great day. I guess this is where I ask you to subscribe to my channel, to follow me on social, and to listen wherever podcasts can be found. And join me every Tuesday at 2 as we unpack how to heal your hair, your heart, and your happiness.